in Korea, and today I just wanted to make a video about how my life is being affected in Korea as a teacher during the coronavirus. So I'm not going to get into a lot of details because I'm sure most of you guys have probably seen the news, but if you're not aware, Korea has the second highest confirmed cases of the coronavirus. Yeah, so up until pretty recently, actually, Korea didn't have that many cases. Everything was under control. Nobody was panicking too greatly, but it all started with one lady who caused so many people to be infected. Basically, it was a lady who was part of a cult, and she was showing symptoms, and instead of, you know, getting tested or self-quarantining herself, she decided to go to all of these giant cult gatherings, and from there, more and more people just kept getting infected. And so that's where we are now. So like I said before, I'm not going to go into a lot of details because the point of this video is not to talk about how the virus spread, but to talk about my experience being a teacher during the virus. So number one, the first way that I'm affected is I don't have to go to school this week. So I have all of this extra free time that I don't really know what to do with because we're kind of advised not to go too far or do too much because they don't want us to get infected potentially, and then when we do finally start school again, get the kids sick. So last week, let me get an exact date on that. I should have done this before. So the week of the 24th in February, I was supposed to have school the entire week. The kids were supposed to show up and come and everything like that. And yeah, but because of the virus, the government announced that schools should be canceled until March 9th. And so my school at first was kind of iffy. They decided that they were just going to cancel for Monday and Tuesday, and then as time went on, they decided to cancel for the rest of that week. But we still had to come in because this is kind of the time where a lot of private schools are starting their new semesters, so I'm getting a new class whenever I start school again. So I had to redo my classroom and things like that. So we came in for the entire week, but teachers who their contract was ending and they didn't resign, they didn't have to come in after Tuesday. So they just got to, you know, end their contract early. So yeah, so at first my school was just going to cancel until the end of that week. But then after thinking about it, they decided to cancel this week too, which is the week of March 2nd. Sorry, I don't have my dates right. But yeah, the week of March 2nd, they decided to cancel all of school again for us. So this time, thankfully, we didn't have to go to school. So I'm kind of just, you know, sitting around, not really doing much because there's nothing to do now. So yeah. But also another thing is that the government just recently, about 2 days ago, announced again that they wanted to cancel school until the 23rd. So if you're a public school teacher, that automatically means that you don't have to go to school until March 23rd. If you're a private school teacher like myself, that means that your private school kind of gets to decide, are we going to have classes where the students come in? Are we just gonna make the teachers come in? Or are we just going to let them stay home? But the bad thing about staying home is even though, you know, I have this little vacation, one, I can't go anywhere, and two, like, we have to make up the days. So my principal is saying we're either gonna have to come in on Saturdays or we're gonna have to have our vacation days taken away, which kind of sucks, but you know, what can you do? The second way that the virus is affecting me is that, as you know, in Asia especially, everybody has to wear their mask. I've been seeing a lot of articles from countries that aren't in Asia that are saying the masks aren't really helpful or anything like that. Truthfully, I don't really know. All I know is that in Korea now, there are signs outside of restaurants or in convenience stores that say, if you don't have your mask on, you can't come in here. Like, we really ask that you wear your mask. If you're not, you're endangering other people's lives, basically. If I get in a taxi and I don't have my mask on, the taxi driver will immediately ask me to put my mask on, and some of them have hand sanitizer to give you like that too. And also, the other day I was walking around, like I had just come out of a restaurant, so of course after eating I didn't immediately put my mask on, and kind of, you know, ironic, this old man kind of like yelled at me and my friends like, hey, where's your mask? Put your mask on. But he didn't have his mask on because he was smoking a cigarette, but his mask was in his hand. So I don't know, I just think that's kind of funny that if you're so worried about the virus, you still take off your mask to smoke a cigarette. So I don't know why he was yelling at us, but yeah, a lot of Koreans are very serious about their masks. There's been mask shortages, and so it's actually really hard to buy masks these days. Like, thankfully I was only able to get one because my friend left her extra one here. But yeah, it's pretty hard to buy masks these days because everybody's trying to have extra ones and they're wearing them all the time. Another way the virus is affecting not me but my friends is that thankfully I decided to sign for another year at my school, so I'm not supposed to end my contract until March 2021. But my friends who did end their contracts, they're all kind of panicking because it's kind of the time where everybody needs to go home. So I had one friend whose flight got suspended. I have other friends who are just, they had to change their flights multiple times. And so everybody's kind of just panicking about going back to America. Like, am I going to be quarantined? Like, is my flight going to be canceled? Like, I don't know. So that's not something that's really affecting me, but it is affecting other people. And thankfully my friends that have had to change their flights, like the airlines are not charging them, but I'm just glad that as of right now I don't have to worry about that. So the last way the virus is affecting me is everybody who is back home in America or who's just not in Asia, they're constantly asking me like, how are you doing? Are you okay? Like, are you being safe? Like, from the virus and everything like that. And kind of like I said before, I don't really leave my house that often, and if I do, I know exactly where I'm going, like to a specific restaurant or something like that. I'm not really wandering around. I'm not really taking public transportation. Like, I get in the taxi to go straight to where I'm going, so I have less contact with people. Washing my hands, wearing my mask, even though I said I don't really know how well it works or not, but again, to make everybody else happy, because if you're not wearing your mask, you're gonna get judged for not wearing your mask. So things like that. But again, with, like, it makes sense that everybody is worried about me back home when they watch the media and see how great the numbers are. But I was kind of explaining to my parents, the reason why I'm not extremely worried is because I feel like Korea is the safest place to have an infectious disease. And I'm not lying when I say that, because in Korea, they're testing so many people. They've already tested over 100,000 people, I think. And if you are being tested, the testing is free. They have drive-through testing facilities. And if you test positive and you need medical treatment, then they pay for that. Like, it doesn't matter if you are a foreigner or a legal immigrant, they're paying for it. Versus in other countries, one, they're not testing at the rate that Korea is testing for. And a lot of countries, you need insurance to be tested, or they're gonna charge you a large, like, sum of money. So I was kind of explaining to my parents, I was like, you actually don't know how many people have it in America or other countries, because nobody's testing at the rate that Korea is testing their people for. Or just anybody, actually. So if I were to get sick, if I were to need medical treatment, I know that I feel like I'm in the safest country to get that, because I wouldn't have to pay for it. So yeah. Okay, to kind of sum up this video, like I said before, I am not super concerned about the virus. I'm doing what I think I would normally do like during flu season or whatever, like washing my hands and things like that. I'm not going out too much and just kind of trying to stay away from big crowds. But the reason why I would be a little bit concerned if I were to get the virus, not because I would think that I would be super sick or anything, but more of because if I were to get it and I didn't know immediately, I might spread it to the kids that I'm teaching. And so I know that younger kids wouldn't do as well with the virus as somebody who's healthy and older. So that'd be my main concern. But as of right now, like I said, I'm not really going anywhere, so I hope I'm okay. My school is currently canceled until March 9th, but the government did issue another advisory that all public schools need to be closed. And then I think up to the Hagwons, it's kind of their choice if they're going to cancel until March 23rd, like the public schools, or if they're going to make their teachers come in, if they're going to allow the kids to come in. It kind of depends. I know one of the reasons my school did officially decide to cancel for at least this week is because a lot of the parents just said they weren't going to send their kids to school. So what's the point of having school if half the parents aren't going to send their kids, right? So yeah, that's just kind of how it's going. I kind of am hoping that we're not canceled for that long, only because I've only been stuck at home for 2 days and I'm already really bored. But yeah, we'll see. But if you like this video and like to see more videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Bye!